live.
Okay. I'll say the opening prayer. Our dear Heavenly Father, we're so thankful for this day. We're so thankful for all the many blessings that we have. We're so thankful that we have made it to Saturday, the end of the week. Please bless us that we will be able to finish all of our assignments that are due. Please help us to serve others and keep others on our minds and see them the way that you see them. Please help us to listen to each other, inspire new thoughts, and be able to learn something from this case discussion. We're so thankful that we all could be in attendance today. Please bless Andrew while he is out mountaineering, that he will be safe and all that are with him will be safe. We're so thankful again for all that we have, and I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Perfect. So does anyone have a scripture or spiritual thought?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of one. No, I don't. I'm trying to think of one, but
it's all good. We can move past that part, I guess. All right. So the first question, it says, "What does Bzzz? Is it Bzzz Agent or Buzz?
I say Bzzz Agent. That's how I say it.
Agent. Okay. What do they do, and what need is being met?" So I guess just in general, what they're like a marketing company. So they will partner with different companies to get new products out there for people to try and to share. And so they'll have like certain like agents, I guess they call them, that will like receive their product and then use it or share it or whatever they might do with it. And then it's all word of mouth stuff from there. So, and that therefore like increases the sale of the product when they do this. And so the need that's being met is of a way to market new products to people.
Mm-hmm.
So
I also think what I like about this business is they're also collecting a lot of data and feedback that they could save up and just have a huge database. So when other companies want to enter that market, all that data to them and see what works and what doesn't work.
That's true.
I like that it talks like Balter, the guy, it's like in the first part where it says he pioneered the word of mouth marketing revolution, as he liked to think of it, and like people obviously really liked it. So I just think that was kind of cool that that's what he thinks. It's like his, I don't know, his own little revolution of this marketing technique.
Yeah. Like, and their competition isn't like they're very unique in their products, and like so any like of their competition isn't like as unique as them, and so I think they're with this word of mouth marketing kind of thing, it's very unique for them, and they're going to be able to profit off of it. So
they've already been successful so far.
Yeah.
I think they have lots of potential.
Like, what has made them successful?
Sorry,
I'm just trying to follow along with the questions a little bit. Our conversation's going in that direction, so.
I don't think they don't have very many competitors in that space either.
Yeah, I think that has helped. And also, I kind of like just get the sense that, like it says, it talks about Balter's background and stuff, and it seems like he has, just experience and like just like the entrepreneurial mojo, whatever you want to call it. And he uses his past experience and now he's, you know, applying it to this word of mouth revolution, whatever. And then also I think it helps that he has like the management team.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, it even says it's Kavanaugh's idea, right? I don't even know what Kavanaugh is. What is?
Isn't he like a partner?
I think so.
Yeah, it says Chairman Kavanaugh convinced Balter. Well, anyway, so it's this Kavanaugh person who proposes doing this kind of, excuse me, auction with the 11 other VC firms.
Mm-hmm.
And Balter is like kind of nervous about it, which, you know, it's kind of nerve-wracking to try new things, but also I think this could be really beneficial. And like obviously at least 10 of the firms agree to like 90% of the, like, you know, the terms that they set, and except for this one. So I don't know, to me those things help it be successful, like the team, the experienced people that are kind of making it up, and that at least they're trying new things so far.
Yeah. So the next one, it says, as a group, pull out the case and discuss Table A and Exhibit 5. Take your time as you work through the following questions. So does everyone have the case up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have to pull it up. I have notes written down, but not the specific ones here. All right, so was it Exhibit or A or something? What'd they say?
Table A.
Table A. That's like right in the middle of the thing, right? Of the paper. Somewhere here. Oh yeah, it's on page 5. So, all right, let me go back to the questions here. Instructions. How profitable is Bzzz Agent?
%25.
Is their profit or their net margin? So depending on how many like they have had, I guess, in the past, would give you their, I guess, their revenues, right?
Sure.
And was it Exhibit 5 that they said?
Yes, 5. I'm going there.
I'm trying to look at the revenue, and it's sideways.
I know. I'm just
like
Exhibit 5. Okay. I don't know how you change it even. I've never changed it on a Mac before. Well, we're gonna go this way.
Looks like.
So how profitable they actually are?
Yeah.
Looks like the revenues have been on average, like, at least for near the end of the year, look like it's been like around 1.5 million. 1.6, 1.4.
Yeah. And that was at the end of 2004.
Yeah.
And
Because they started up in 2002, right?
I think so. And back then they had only made like 59,000 or something. And then at the end of 2013 or 2003, it was 445,000, and then the end of 2004 was 1.6 million, and then it looks like it's not quite the end of the year yet, but it just in 2005 they're already at 3.4 million, so that's pretty good, and they're definitely growing in revenue.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's nice.
It's good.
So calculate the growth rate from the beginning of 2002 to the end of 2004, and from the beginning of 2002 to the end of 2006.
Okay, so from 2002 to 5, and then from 2002 to 6.
Yeah. So to find growth rate, I think you just have to like find like trends, right?
I think you just take the end of the year revenue, don't you? Then do like a multiplication.
It was, let's see, let's go back here. Because it's asking us for a rate, right? Okay. That was 4. 4.
To do the growth rate, are we just looking at the revenue numbers?
That's what I'm looking at.
And then you just do, I was just looking up, you do,
Are you just looking at capital, or are you looking at total capital and liabilities?
I'm just looking at basic revenues that they've had.
That's in Exhibit 5, right?
Yeah.
So wait, I'm so confused for a second. Because I'm on Exhibit 5. Are you looking at, when you say revenues, like the cash and cash equivalents, or? Because I'm a little confused right now.
It's on page.
Oh, there's more to Exhibit 5. I've only been looking at one page.
Yeah, so it's more there.
No wonder I'm so.
I think it's on page 20.
20?
But yeah, so it says revenue, and then oh gosh, actually, hold on. I might have been wrong.
I was looking at page
total
19.
revenue.
It says total revenue. I'm right there looking at that.
Sorry, I was looking at the wrong numbers anyway. Let me put those numbers in instead. So it's 26. Wait, is that the right line? I have to make sure. Total revenue. Yeah, so it's 26,923 in 2002.
Wait. We're looking on page 20, right, at total revenue?
Yeah.
Ah! I'm seeing 59,042.
What's that?
I'm seeing 59,042.
Yeah, but if you go down, it'll say revenue, and then, never mind. Sorry, man, I'm like off today.
No, it's sideways. Right. It's hard to read. So 2002.
So it is 59,000. So that's 59042, and then your next number is 721,564, right?
Yeah, we're going to the end of 2003.
Yeah, that's 2003.
Okay, yeah.
2004 was 2598007.
Yep.
2598007. And then so far in 2005, it's 5204. 5204.
435.
5, and that's just so far. But I mean, if you're looking at like just linearly on Excel, I mean, and that's with only like 3/4 of the year. You know, it's not even counting the end of 2005 on this exhibit. But their forecast is showing as 7277568.
Up to 19.
19.
What?
So I mean, if just pure linearly, if that 7277568 works out, then I mean, personally, I don't know how they're going to pull it off, because Excel is telling me for the 2006, if they're going to stay on the same rate of growth, it'll be around 8,547,000. So I don't know how they're going to get the 19 million, but
aren't they? Isn't that when they're getting their funding though? Are they taking into account their investor in their VCs?
I don't know if they're taking this into account in this or not. They might be, and that might be a portion of it.
Just about, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
That is a huge jump in their forecast.
Because on Excel, I'm just using a trend function where you can put in your known X's and known Y's, and then put in your new X, and it's only giving me 8 million. So, or 8.5 million. So I'm not sure why it's such a big jump there, but
that's double their revenue in a year. That's over double.
Right.
Well, and then the instructions say, how satisfied are you with their revenue growth?
If it was real, I'd be satisfied.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fairly satisfied with it, because first of all, they haven't really done any like major funding rounds yet, and they've already been able to like exponentially grow. So I think they're doing well.
I do too.
Their operating margin. Did any of you look at that?
Operating margin?
Yep.
I'm trying to find it.
So it's going from, it's on page 21.
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, so it's like the first year is 114%, which I guess that's normal for a first year. 2.61%, the second year 11.4, and then 27. So they are growing with their operating margin as well, which is really good.
Yeah.
Although their operating margin for their forecast isn't as high, so they might be spending more there, but
yeah, it goes down.
Interesting.
What is operating margin?
So operating margin is calculated by taking, let me Google it really quick. So you just your regular operating margin, or your operating earning. So it's your earnings, your operating earnings. So you have your revenues, and then you take your cost of goods sold, your labor, and then your general whatever out, and then you get your operating earnings, and the earnings is the margin is the earnings over your revenue.
Okay.
So whatever they take out after they take out all of the expenses over what you sell it for, like your total revenue. So they're able to increase their operating margin because either their costs are going down or it's becoming more or they're able to sell it for more, if that makes sense. And just increasing the amount of like I guess number of times they're able to collect the revenue. I don't think it would necessarily like affect that, but the fact that they are able or have been able to increase that thus far is pretty good.
Right.
Although I think it should be higher, but that's just me.
Why having should be higher?
Only a 24%. So you're spending for every dollar, you're spending like over 75 cents of every dollar that you collect.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, I mean, it's sort of low. I mean, personally, but because like I'm pretty sure like I guess a good healthy one would be higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
Although like there are companies that still function on much lower. So I don't know. I guess what a normal one would be, but it'd be nice if it were higher. So
yes.
And so, do y'all have any comments over that question there?
I do not.
No.
Okay. If they are growing and profitable, why are they raising money now?
Well,
good question.
They want to expand.
Right.
Right? I mean, that's gotta spend money to make money, how that saying goes. Like, I don't know. That's what I think. And I mean, it says Balter is nervous about the VC, like, doing it this way. But I mean, really, why is he nervous? Because they seem to be doing well. And obviously, now that they've even, like, started doing it, and, like, 10 out of the 11 are interested, and that's with Bzzz Agent setting all the terms. Like, I feel like that's a really good sign that your company is a good one, because if all these VC companies want to invest in your company, they obviously see potential in it.
Right.
So yeah, so I don't know. In my mind, it was just so that they can keep growing and keep progressing, I guess. I don't know. It says, the next one, it says, what role does timing play in this decision? I don't really know. I don't understand that question really. Like, how are we supposed to know that?
I'm not sure.
And then it says, how much money do they need?
I mean, they're operating on, the capital that they have right now, so I'm not sure if they necessarily like need money. Although, like, if they are able to collect more funds, I think they would have more opportunity to grow than without it.
No, I definitely agree with that.
But I don't know exactly like necessarily like amount, like, oh, like they need this period amount. So
yeah.
And I think they're more aware of, I guess, the amount that they need, especially because they distributed the terms to the companies themselves versus had people come to them, or the VCs to come to them, and only one company put out their own. Sorry, my phone is about to die. put out their own like terms to it. So I'm not sure. Like maybe they do, or maybe they don't need more than what they say. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, because well, maybe I'm thinking about that timing question, because it says how or what role does timing play in this decision? They obviously did this type of auction thing with the VCs because they wanted to save time. Like that was the whole purpose of Kavanaugh coming up with this strategy, is because they didn't want the time-consuming process of, talking to VC firms and then letting them make all the decisions. They wanted to be a part of that. And, at least from my understanding, that's the whole idea behind this thing. So, I mean, I think that they want to get it done quicker than slower if they can, which, since they're already so profitable, I'm not sure why they're in. It kind of seems like, not like they're necessarily rushing things, but
I have a theory.
Go ahead.
So I read a little bit of the section in the case where it says getting funding. At this point, it says they're really profitable and really successful, and we saw that in the exhibit that they are really profitable. I think maybe the reason why they want to do funding now is because they feel like they're at a peak in the industry right now, and the valuation of the company is really, really good, and it could just be an opportunity for them to get a ton of capital right now while the company's doing really well. They're telling investors, "Hey, we're worth a lot, so put a lot of money in us."
Well, yeah, and with no competition, it's like there's nothing or nobody stopping them. They could just keep growing and keep growing. I don't know.
Because it doesn't give a reason why they're getting funding. They just said it's time for us to get funding or to approach VCs.
Well, I mean, really, that's a logical next step, right? I mean, after your firm has already showed a lot of progress and potential, it's not like you want to stay in the same spot. You always want to be looking for ways that you can be growing and being better, and especially with no competition, you could just take control of that entire industry. Well, it says they have no direct competition, so.
Well, I'm content with our answers for that question.
Yeah. Okay, so now it wants us to open up our spreadsheet and compare the 15 million valuation on a 15 million investment. Using your spreadsheet, discuss the math you use to calculate your answers on the tab entitled To VC Return Requirements. Hint, there is an answer key in the Excel workbook if you get stuck, but do your best to complete it without relying on that crutch.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I had to use it sometimes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. When you see it down there at the bottom, you're like, oh.
You know, the hard case when in the instructions it says there are going to be terms you don't understand, but try your best.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. So on the so they're talking about the second tab, right? The VC return requirements.
Yes.
Okay. So they're talking about specifically, I guess, for that first number, like an exit. The value of investors' share at exit, meaning and I was watching a video of this last night, but meaning there's going to be a certain value on the return that within a few years. I mean, I don't really know exactly all what it means, but I guess it makes a little sense in my mind. Were y'all able to calculate it out?
Well, I'm trying to get to mine, but it's not loading right now. So I'm gonna give it a second and get to it.
So the numbers under the $15 million investment, everything's a lot higher. Is that a good thing?
Yeah, and that's what I don't know. Like, I mean, is it a better thing that these are a lot higher? But I don't know.
Payout for the investors is good, but I don't know if that's good for the company.
Well, and I think the requirement portion of it, that's what they're mainly concentrating on this, but
right. Oh, okay, gotcha.
But so I don't know if like necessarily like those numbers are good or bad, if they're higher or not, but I definitely think like the requirement revenue is either a good number or a bad number, like the percentage there at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because I think if it's higher, then it's going to be more difficult to obtain, within their given time frame. And I'm still not sure what the exit revenue multiple is. I think that's mainly like how much they expect back, but I don't know. So what did y'all get for that number? That last one?
67.7%.
Okay. Okay, good.
Mine's still not opening, guys. I'm sorry. It's being finicky. I don't know why, because it worked before. So. What the heck?
So I guess which is more favorable though?
I don't know. That's one of the parts I didn't understand. So the one on the left with the $10 million investment, that's the terms they set, right?
Right.
And the one on the right is the terms that another company set.
Correct.
Higher valuation. I just what was your understanding of the percentage again? I don't. That's the thing I don't understand.
So like when they make the investment, they're going to require like a certain amount of revenue back, like at the exit, and so with the terms that they proposed, like Buzz Agent proposed, they're saying to their investors that like you'll get like 59% on top of what you invest back. But then over here, under the $15 million investment, under those terms, it's 67%. So it's a little higher. And so my understanding is that like it's going to be a little bit of a negative thing to have a higher number here because management won't be able to, or they'll have a more difficult time attaining that number versus a lower number.
That makes sense. And is that by the end of 2010, or is that any time between 2006 and 2010?
Whenever their exit point was, which I don't remember really remembering what that is right now.
No worries.
But I'm pretty sure it might be 2010, but I mean, that's what I suspect, but because that's what the spreadsheet says.
I'm okay with it. I think, and my reason is because it's an 8% increase that they ask, but they're valuing the company at 50 million, which is 10 million more. And they're also putting $5 million more into the company.
Whew.
So I think that the price of an 8% increase is fair. In my opinion, I don't know. What do you think, Cody?
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear you when you were talking.
Oh, I was just saying. In my opinion, I think it's fair for them to ask for 67% because they're basically asking for 8% more of their set terms, but they're also investing $5 million more into the company.
Right.
That's all I was
saying.
I think 8% for $5 million more is fair.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And so, I mean, I don't know, but I mean, like I said before, like it's going to definitely be a little more difficult to hit that with management. Right. But if it's only an 8% difference, then might as well.
So. Especially if they project their earnings to be $19 million in revenue.
Right.
But
well, mine is not loading and it is getting angry with me. So I am sorry.
That's okay.
It worked before, but now it's saying like, I don't know, some error pops up, says that it's like, I don't know. I probably could just restart my computer and it'd be fine, but it's being all finicky right now. Anyway. Okay. So
should we move on to 6?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move on.
Or 8, right? It's question 8.
Oh, 8. Yeah, sorry.
So it's basically just going over the next tab.
Yeah.
I have all green check marks for mine, so.
Yeah. Well, I remember I did the work and then I looked at the answer sheet or whatever, the solutions when I needed to.
Right.
But obviously I can't see mine, so I don't remember anything that's on it.
Yeah. But you were able to get all, like, I guess, all the correct answers though on yours.
Yeah.
Okay. So as long as we all have the same green check marks, then they're all going to be the same. But with this, it mainly asks, why is the price per share of the VC term sheet very close to that of the VC term sheet, but the value to current shareholders is different? So I think it's just a higher, I guess, ratio, right, with what they're using here for the price per share. So it's dividing the 10 million or 15 million into the, let's see, the number of shares for the investor. So on the VC term sheet, the percentage for the shares, or the percentage of what the Series B investors own, is a little bit higher, and so is the option pool. So the company itself owns, or the Bzzz Agent company, they own less of a share of the company, but but their price per share is still the same. Because they took that on, but it's I think it's taking it off the total, right? If I remember. I'm assuming that's.
Well, then it says which number is more important to you as a founder, and which number is more important to you as a Series A investor.
I think as a founder, I guess just from what we've learned in the past, it's the overall goal of that would be to still own as much as possible of your company, right?
Yeah, that's what I think.
So I think that this is where the conflict begins because they're going to be losing less. But then for a Series A investor, it's not going to really matter because the price per share is going to be what matters here. And because it's equal, it doesn't really matter too much. But because that's the price of the share that they're getting the value from.
Yeah.
Because they own the shares. So, but they also own more.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. And so then it says, now go to the class prep worksheet and discuss your responses to each of the questions. And I'm pretty much worthless here, guys, because mine still won't open. I'm sorry.
So we can just, I guess, read the questions out loud. The first one, it says, based on your analysis of the Buzz Agent term sheet and the VC term sheet, has your opinion of which term sheet to accept changed? Which proposal would you recommend that Balter accept? So what did y'all even choose in the end?
So what I chose was, and what I still think is for Balter to choose one of the 10 companies that like kind of agreed to his terms.
Yeah. And that's what I had originally chose, although I'm very on the fence about it. Yeah. So what about you, Sicko?
I'm on the fence too. There's a lot of pros and cons to it. What keeps me on the fence is their forecast. How they said that they can make $19 million.
Right.
If that is true, they don't need this guy, the other investors who made their own terms. But on the other side, having their company valued at $50 million for an 8% increase on the revenue, that's also very attractive to me.
Well, and I was kind of thinking that, I mean, I personally really like the idea of like setting their own terms and then asking the VCs to kind of like, I guess, compete to be able to invest in that company. I think that's really good because then, like, I don't know. In my head, it was like they don't have to try to sell to the VC companies. These VC companies are obviously already interested in them. And so they're going to figure out what value they can add to the company to be chosen over the other VC firms. And also, I thought it was important. I mean, and not looking like at the numbers so much, but just like they kind of, in my mind, they gave Balter and like Kavanaugh and Bzzz Agent people gave these VC firms kind of like instructions to follow in order to be chosen. And they did that so that they could save time and energy and be able to focus on other things. But then this 11th one or whatever just totally, because didn't it say that like some of the others wanted to make very minimal changes and so that was okay, but then this one even though they did offer like a higher valuation, they completely changed everything. And so in my brain, I was kind of like, I don't know, they kind of just like didn't follow the instructions. That's how my brain kind of processed it. And so me personally, I'm not sure if I would want to choose someone to invest in my company if they, I don't know, because if he wants to keep more of the control of the company, ownership of the company. That's what was going on in my brain when I was reading it. So that's like some of the reasons why I picked that. I think that he should go with one of the other 10 who were they were still very enthusiastic and excited about it and willing to go through this process. And they wanted to make some minimal changes, but they also were agreeing with the already set terms.
Definitely. I definitely agree. Like, I think that, they sent this out, and then to have one company come back with like different answers is definitely something interesting, but they are looking into it like as a possibility. Mm-hmm. So I guess like it's just trying to weigh like I guess the value added benefits of this other company versus the 10, and I'm just not very convinced that like they made it to that level with what they offered.
Yeah.
But again, I'm very on the fence about it. So
it seems like Balter and Bzzz Agent want time to focus on other things besides this. So also they probably will choose whichever one takes less time, because that seems that that's the whole reason why they're doing it in the first place, right?
Right.
So, and I don't know how you can tell, because I mean, I don't know, I guess if they just agree right away to all the changes that this 11th VC firm made, then they can just move forward with it instead of having to kind of go through the other 10 or the other VC firms. And I don't know. So I don't know if the time is that important, that if it did take less time and focus for them to just go with that 11th company that made those changes, if that would like put them over the top. I'm not sure.
So the second question, it says, the VC term sheet describes a more investor-friendly board. How much valuation would you give up in the VC term sheet in exchange for getting the board structure initially proposed by Bzzz Agent?
Can you say that one more time? I'm sorry.
So the VC term sheet describes a more investor-friendly board, meaning like the VC, well, whatever. How much valuation would you give up in the VC term sheet in exchange for getting the board structure initially proposed by Bzzz Agent? So they're basically, which would you prefer, like the Bzzz Agent board choice or the VC term board choice?
Okay, and what did you guys think on that one?
I would definitely think I would want to have power. I would want to have control over who's on my board. I wouldn't want, I don't know. I would prefer a more investor-friendly board. But
which is the one that the VC term sheet describes. So you're saying that what's that?
Is that the one that Walter sent out? No. Is that his terms? Oh, this is their term. Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
So the more investor-friendly board is the VC term sheet, and
gotcha. Okay, I do understand.
The more Bzzz Agent-friendly board is the one proposed by Bzzz Agent. So, okay. And it's how much valuation would you give up for a more investor-friendly board than the Bzzz Agent board?
I don't know. I mean,
or the other way around, or vice versa.
are they looking for like a price, like a number, right?
I don't think so. Like, I mean, my thoughts is like definitely like I guess in negotiating this, like maybe you know, maybe the board's a little more important, so maybe you would give up some more value, like you would give more of a percentage of something in the term sheets to make that agreement, for your board to stay versus their board,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I think like there's definitely things that I think Buzz Agent could give up in order to get their own board, like the way that they want it, but they would have to see, I guess, how much they would want to give up first of all, and second,
Yeah.
like how much would the other company, like how important is it that they have an investor friendly board?
I
So
agree.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you just have to, it all comes down to their priorities and what they want for the company. And obviously, we can't know all that. But, like one factor could, make them give up. I don't know. There's so many things that go into this. I feel like you can't, unless you're in that situation yourself, I feel like it's really difficult to know like what you would be willing to give up and what you wouldn't be for like what your goals are in the end.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Is
and then the third one, it says the Buzz Agent term sheet described a planned distribution of approximately $3 million to management and current investors immediately prior to the transaction. What is your opinion of the merits of such a distribution? From Balter's perspective, from the VC's perspective. So basically they're saying like, oh, we're going to distribute like $3 million to current investors and management. And so they're saying like what are the positives of that? What are the negatives? I think definitely on the VC's perspective, it's definitely a negative thing, especially because they're about to invest this money, and and they're sort of getting like, oh well, we already spent $3 million of your dollars because we distributed it to current investors and everything. But from Balter's perspective, maybe it's a positive thing because he's giving management and the investors rewards for, I guess, their how do you say, their performance.
yeah.
Especially on the investor side, like the investors need something, to make them happy, and so that's just my thoughts though. But I don't know what y'all think.
No, that was what my thoughts were too. And like, like you said, reward, which I agree with, but I also was thinking like a motivation to keep going forward,
Right.
like, this company has already seen so much growth, and obviously a lot of effort and work and time has been already put into it. So I think it would be a reward, but also, at least for me, in my mind, I would be like, okay, ready for round 2. Let's do this. Like, let's keep working, let's keep going forward. But I definitely agree. If I was on the other side, if I was an investor and I gave all this money and there it goes. But then also, I mean, if you think about it, it's like a type of investment, because if you are keeping the people happy that help your business, I mean, that also could be a good thing. So I guess it just depends on the way you look at it, because I can see being kind of negative and like, okay, well, I want this money to go towards something else, or like something better or more useful, whatever it is. But then also investing in employees is, I think, a big part of investing in a company, the employees and the investors. Yeah.
So are they talking about doing this distribution before the transaction or after the transaction?
after, right?
Prior to the
Immediately
transaction.
prior to the transaction. So I'm confused.
So that would be like after this new investment, right?
Yeah. That's what I understand, at least.
Okay. I mean,
Or no, it's before, right? I'm getting confused.
yeah, I think it's before.
So yeah, it's before. So this is before. And so the VC term or the VC will learn, oh, like, right before this happens, that $3 million was already distributed to, management and everything. So I don't know how they'll feel about that.
Well, if it's
Was that
before, then that's not any of their money that they're investing.
right? That's just extra cash that's already been budgeted out for their employees.
Well, it could affect their like their
Valuation.
ownership status and everything. So I think that there is some effects that it could have. And it might be a negative thing for them, but I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just confused with like a lot of like
I
how
spent so
this
much
is
time.
working,
Yeah, I agree.
Like, and
Well,
what's good, what's bad, but I don't know.
I gotta go pretty soon, so let's, I guess, move on because we still, well,
We
the
still have
next
to
thing
do.
says we gotta read the raising capital at Bzzz Agent B case and then decide which offer you will take, if any, and then create a one-word document for your group to state your decision, explain your reasoning. And then one person will submit that. Okay, and now I'm confused. The raising capital at Bzzz Agent B, is that like a whole other case? My computer won't let me even open it. I can't.
Yeah, it's like 3 to 4 pages, I think, right?
My computer is like not letting me open it right now. So I can't even read it. Does it just give you more? Have you guys read it yet?
Yeah, well, I read like the first couple of paragraphs, but it just gives you more information on like what they did after this. And so, let me hold up. I'm having a Zoom 50%. Why is this zoomed in all the way? So let me read through it just real quick. So they met with each of the firms. And Balter stated, "You should change whatever you would like to change, but we will consider that a negative in our assessment for your proposal. We think the proposed term sheet is a balanced approach." So I guess in Balter's mind, like the term sheet that Buzz Agent gave was very fair. And so
One, if they created it, like that's obviously what works well for them. Right? So yeah, because like why would you create something that doesn't, I don't know. I agree with that.
And then he said, "We are very interested in firms that could actually help the business grow. We didn't require the capital to scale, and we're really thinking of our investors as partners. So effort, domain experience, and value-added potential were intended to cover that. Chemistry was important to ensure that we would work well together. This type of relationship is often like a marriage, so we wanted it to be a good one. Finally, cachet, whatever, was important, as it would help us require top-tier talent and open doors previously closed to us."
Well, okay. So now it says, as a group, which offer are we going to decide to take, if any?
So then it goes through each of the firms again. and gives more information on them. So I'm not sure. Are you reading this, Sicko?
I just got done with the poll. I was listening. I was about to open the case right now.
Have you done the poll, Susie? Is that why it's not letting you open it?
I did.
Okay.
I'm almost pretty. Yeah, I did that already. Because I opened this at the beginning of the week and I went through, all of it. Well, I didn't go through this second B part, obviously, because I don't know what it said. And it let me open everything just fine. And so now it's saying that there's some type of error on my computer, and I don't know what's even happening. So, I mean, I can open it later. I'm sure, like, if I was able to shut down and restart or something, but yeah, I have to go soon. And
so basically, it just goes through like these 4, and you can look at this later, I guess, on the recording if you still can't open it. But yeah, so
have you read at least a little bit of it?
I haven't gone through each of the people with it, or each firm. Like, there's 4 firms in there that they're looking at now.
So does it, when it says, whoopsies, I went off the right page. Because I think it probably wants us to just pick one specifically.
One
okay. Yeah, okay, well, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know we had to do this part. But I really got to go soon, like pretty much now. So, are you guys okay with doing that part of it? And I feel really bad. I apologize.
Sicko, have you been able to open it?
I just opened it.
Okay. Yeah, we can read through it and submit it.
I'm so sorry. I really want to, this is probably why we don't do it on Saturdays, right? Because it's due tonight. But I don't know. My only vote would be to stay with one of the 10 that didn't make as many changes, just because, like he said, that's a negative to him, because they wanted to set the terms for a reason, and if they change too much of that, I would definitely consider it a negative, because it's obviously not in accordance with what Bzzz Agent wants. That's in my personal opinion, and obviously I can't see any of the details, and I have to go. So yeah, if you guys need, I'll be, gosh. Anyway, yeah, so I'm pretty much booked for the rest of the night. Pretty much, I have other stuff to do.
No, that's fine.
So I guess that's all. I apologize. So I guess I will leave, and I will talk to you guys next week.
Yep. Also, just so y'all know, I might have to push back. Well, hopefully, and maybe just because they're changing my work schedule. And they said they were going to start from do a 2 to 10 thing, but now they're saying it's going to be like 9 to 6:30 or so. And so, I want to try to see if I can get off still at 5 on Tuesday, Thursdays, because it's only an hour or whatever. So, but I'll let y'all know if we need to push it back or anything. What's your availability like on Tuesday night?
I'm free all day Tuesday. Or all day. I just said free after. I'm free after 1.
After Tuesday. 1, okay. What about you, Susie?
I'm decently open. Since I did get a job, and now it's either 12 to 3 or 12 to 5, I think, is what a typical shift for me. But also, if you need me to change something, my manager is super good about moving stuff around.
Okay, so. but usually it's after 5 that you're available?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as that works, then it should be fine. We'll have to text Andrew and just ask him, but yeah, that's all. So.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks,
No,
Susie.
I think we've all been super accommodating to each other. I definitely appreciate that. So thank you guys. Okay, thank you so much for finishing this. I really appreciate it. And
Yeah,
have a
for
good
sure.
weekend. And I will see you on Tuesday. Yes.
All right, perfect.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.
All right. So, have you been reading it?
Yep.
Okay.
I just skimmed through, but I got the gist of it. They're trying to choose which firm to go with, and they made a ranking system.
Right.
They list a lot of pros and cons, but yeah, I don't know. He makes a lot of good points. Like he's like, I like this person, but there's something wrong with that, and he basically says the same thing about each firm. There's not like
Yeah, there's never like the perfect firm here.
right, and I guess if you go off the ranking system, you would pick the highest score. But even I think he mentions that he doubts the ranking system,
Because
and
I'm
so
assuming the ranking system, like it's closer to one that's best. Is that what's happening here, or the total?
yeah, yeah, it's basically what he prioritizes the most when looking for a company, but he can't go off the overall. I mean, it seems like Firm K has the best ranking overall, so I don't see why he
Well,
doesn't
I
just
think
go with Firm
it's
K.
firms from 1 best to 11 worst.
Right.
So I think,
Oh, 11 worse.
yeah.
I read that.
So I think the higher number is the worst. So he's looking at the lowest score is going to be the best, right?
Gotcha. B.
Which I guess that doesn't really make sense in my mind. Like I definitely wouldn't have done it that way, but that's just me. So I guess it just really depends on what he values.
Yep.
Which is better. And if he's doubting this ranking system, then maybe this isn't as accurate. But Firm B, was that the one that had changed it?
Firm B. No,
Yeah,
it's not.
yeah. Firm
Firm A.
B presented Buzz Agent with its own term sheet, which is
Oh, it is Firm B.
yep. So, but it's still ranked really high. I mean, on his so. And a lot of this was already in the case.
Right.
Oh no, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Firm B was the one that presented their own.
Nice. Go with Firm A then.
The only negative
They,
side to Firm A is that they don't have a good track record yet. But overall, they're pretty positive.
is it because they're in the VC market?
I'm sorry, say that again.
It's because they're an early stage investor, but so is it says Firm B is also an early. They're a new entrant in the VC market.
Right.
Oh wait, but they had it quickly establish itself as a major player.
Right.
Hmm. You said Firm B is on with its own
Correct. Yeah.
terms. I think that's something that, but I find it surprising that it's not in the ranking system.
Firm B.
Well, that they don't rank that Firm B didn't has their own terms attached to it.
Yeah. So on in the original case,
Uh-huh.
It has a note there that says it.
Oh, okay. No, what do you think?
What's this? Because a lot of it's similar. Like I'm reading over it, and I'm like, I've already read this before.
Yeah,
The only new one is Firm D.
did you read the last paragraph in Firm D?
Yeah.
He doubts his ranking system.
So maybe he's just only doubting it with Firm D and not the others.
Yeah.
So I maybe we just don't go with Firm D at all.
Yeah.
I don't really like
Cross them
them.
out.
So maybe I'm leaning more toward A, but that's just me.
I'm leaning toward A as well. And the only reason being is because that's the high score.
Right. And even in Firm C, it stated that he felt that Firm C wouldn't spend as much time with the company, which is
Right.
exactly what he's looking for. Is he's
Right.
wanting more of a partner versus just a firm that invests. And
And
so
that it could also be an advantage for Firm A because they don't have a track record, so they have nothing to lose. So they're gonna,
right, they're going to want to succeed here.
yeah,
And I
they
think
want to.
they would want the partnership.
Right. So
And
I'm cool with Firm A.
I'm cool with it. Let's go with it.
Sweet.
So
All right. We just got to create a brief document.
what's that?
We just have to create a brief document stating the firm and our reasoning.
Correct. Yeah. Do
Okay.
you have that up?
I I don't have a document. No, I'm just reading the instructions. But I was just going to go over with you. The reasoning is we chose Firm A because one, they have a high ranking, and two, it fits the terms of the agreement they sent out.
Mm-hmm.
And even though they see it as a weakness that they don't have um, a track record, it could also be a strength.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't have the client focus the Buzz Agent and prove themselves with this company.
And just add on to that, like that they're looking for more of a partner, and with all the other options, at least for with the first four firms, they don't really offer necessarily like a partnership, but definitely Firm A, I think they would feel more comfortable working with them as a partner versus the rest of the firms.
As a matter of fact, if you look at Firm A in the ranking, it says they have the best as far as chemistry and domain experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's really the only reason why it's the cachet that gives them a low ranking because their track record. But everything else is pretty high, pretty good.
Right. And the cachet, and I had to look this one up because I wasn't familiar with the term, but basically it's showing like being respected or admired or prestige. So they might not have a lot of that yet, but because they're new. But I think that definitely might be something negative for this company. But I still think that the chemistry and the domain experience and the effort and the value added is all very high. I think it would be a good fit.
Right. All right. For me, it is.
And so I think this only needs to be like a paragraph long or something. It
Yeah.
doesn't even say a page. It says
They say,
this should be a brief document.
yeah. Cool.
So did you want to type that up?
I could do that. That's fine.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And then, yeah, and then that's it for it, right?
That's it. That was the last thing.
Wait a minute, hold on. I never. Um. Oh, okay. So yeah, so there is an assignment section there where it
Yeah,
says Buzz Agent Decision. That's where you'll upload it there.
We'll do.
Okay. Anything
All right.
else?
That's it.
All right. I'll see you Tuesday.
Yeah. Let us know the time.
Okay, I will do. All right. Bye.
Bye.